billion-dollar business is in damage control after his affair with a colleague was exposed, of all places, on Kiss Cam at a Coldplay concert.
In a digital age where satire, scandal and speculation collide at the speed of virality, The Simpsons once again found itself pulled into a cultural whirlwind. Only this time, it was fiction chasing reality. Following the now infamous Coldplay concert, Kiss Cam fiasco involving Astronomer executives Andy Byron and Kristin Cabot, the internet has exploded with claims that The Simpsons had already predicted it all. Today, we'll unveil the truth about the whole matter. The Coldplay concert, Kiss Cam fiasco. On the night of July 16, 2025, Gillette Stadium in Foxborough, Massachusetts, was packed with over 65,000 fans attending a highly anticipated stop on Coldplay's Music of the Spheres World Tour. The atmosphere was electric as Chris Martin and his band performed under a shimmering canopy of LED wristbands and vibrant visual effects. Seated among the crowd were Andy Byron, the CEO of Astronomer, a rising star in the field of data orchestration, and Kristin Cabot, the company's head of human resources. As is customary at large concerts and sports events, the stadium's jumbotron occasionally panned to audience members for light-hearted entertainment during interludes. Midway through the show, the Kiss Cam landed on Byron and Cabot, who were in a romantic embrace. What unfolded was an instantly awkward moment. Byron turned away from Cabot while she appeared visibly uncomfortable, cupping her face in her palms, turning away from the camera. However, before the camera cut away, Coldplay frontman Chris Martin jokingly remarked from the stage, "Either they're having an affair or they're just very shy," sending the crowd into laughter. Well, unbeknownst to him, he had just sparked a social media wildfire. Behind-the-scenes fallout. What had begun as an awkward public moment on July 16, 2025 at Gillette Stadium quickly escalated into a corporate crisis by the morning of July 17th. It wasn't long before people discovered who the duo were through a reverse image search. The board of directors at Astronomer, a Columbus-based startup specializing in data pipeline orchestration, convened an emergency meeting within hours of the viral clip hitting major platforms. While the company remained publicly silent that day, internal sources confirmed that the board launched an internal ethics review focused on potential breaches of company conduct, particularly concerning romantic relationships between senior leadership and HR compliance protocols. The relationship, if proven true, had not been disclosed through official internal channels, a requirement for executives under Astronomer's Code of Ethics adopted in 2022 after its Series C funding round led by Bain Capital Ventures and Salesforce Ventures. In addition to reviewing any personal misconduct, the board also investigated whether professional decisions had been influenced by the alleged relationship. This scrutiny included promotions, pay raises, and the timing of Cabot's transition from senior HR manager to VP of People Operations. This shift had taken place in February 2024, just 13 months before the incident. But of course, there was more to this than a breach of company policy. Andy Byron was married. On July 18th, just 2 days after the concert, he formally tendered his resignation. In a memo circulated internally, and later shared with The Information, Byron said his decision was in the best interest of Astronomer's future and its mission to serve customers with trust and transparency. Though he did not address the Kiss Cam incident or his relationship with Cabot directly, his departure was widely interpreted as an attempt to stem further scrutiny and diffuse board-level tensions. His resignation was accepted unanimously by the board, and CFO Jason Liu was named interim CEO while a national executive search was launched through Spencer Stewart. Kristin Cabot submitted her resignation the next day, July 19th, in a tersely worded email sent to company staff and later referenced in coverage by Bloomberg Tech. She stated her departure was for personal and professional clarity and thanked colleagues for their support. Like Byron, she did not confirm or deny the relationship, nor did she comment on any specifics of the unfolding investigation. Internally, however, Cabot's exit sparked unease among mid-level staffers, particularly in HR and people operations teams, many of whom had reportedly raised questions about favoritism as early as April, but were discouraged from escalating concerns due to perceived executive backing. Later that same day, Astronomer released an official press statement through PR firm Sard Verbinen & Co., reiterating the company's unwavering commitment to ethical leadership, workplace transparency, and a safe environment for all employees. The statement confirmed the resignations of both Byron and Cabot and announced that a third-party legal and HR consulting firm, later revealed to be Littler Mendelsohn PC, had been retained to conduct a full audit of Astronomer's leadership structure and internal policy enforcement. The statement also hinted at a broader update to its code of conduct, including clearer escalation mechanisms and strengthened safeguards regarding reporting lines and interpersonal conduct at the executive level. Anonymous insiders began providing additional context to tech reporters and online forums such as Blind and Hacker News. Several employees, speaking on condition of anonymity, claimed that Byron and Cabot had been seen leaving conferences together as early as the third quarter of 2023 and often traveled for client engagements in tandem, despite not typically overlapping in project scope. One whistleblower told Business Insider that Cabot had been promoted without the standard peer review process and that 2 senior HR analysts had transferred out of her department between November 2023 and March 2024. Further complicating matters were claims that Byron had overridden feedback from Astronomer's internal promotion review committee to fast-track Cabot's elevation to the VP role, despite concerns about her limited experience in technical recruiting and enterprise HR compliance. While no formal lawsuits have been filed yet, legal analysts speculate that Astronomer's internal NDAs and severance agreements likely contain robust confidentiality clauses to prevent litigation or further public disclosure. The behind-the-scenes damage control continued as Astronomer's board moved quickly to reassure its enterprise clients, including names like Adobe, Autodesk, and T-Mobile, that operations would remain stable and unaffected by the leadership changes. Internal Slack channels were locked down, and senior team members were asked to refrain from commenting on the incident publicly. But, of course, the damage can't be undone. Meme culture and online reaction. Within hours of the now infamous Coldplay concert Kiss Cam moment on July 16, 2025, the internet went wild. Things were not helped by Coldplay frontman Chris Martin's cheeky on-stage quip. Either they're having an affair or they're just very shy. Once that comment hit the airwaves and the video was uploaded by multiple concertgoers to TikTok, Reddit, and X, formerly Twitter, a tidal wave of memes, digital forensics, satire, and even AI-generated art quickly followed. The event, quickly dubbed Kiss Cam Gate, has become one of the most memed scandals of the year. Digital creators across social media immediately latched onto the inherent absurdity of the situation. One widely circulated meme showed a PowerPoint slide titled Workplace Ethics 101 – What Not to Do, featuring a freeze frame of Cabot leaning away from Byron. Others superimposed the moment onto classic office sitcoms, most notably The Office and Parks and Recreation, with captions like Michael and Jan, Tech Edition. Several memes used the now iconic Succession aesthetic, stylizing the duo in black and white headshots, with captions such as, "When you mix Coldplay, corporate HR, and infidelity, only one can stay employed." Over 8,000 unique iterations of the image and its variants were shared on TikTok in the first 36 hours alone, according to Crowd Tangent. While hashtag KissCamGate remained the most consistently trending tag across TikTok and Twitter, others like Coldplay Scandal and Byron Cabot Affair emerged as well. However, the response wasn't entirely humorous. Online discourse began to fracture as viewers debated the ethics of meme culture itself. While many found the moment hilarious, calling it a perfect storm of pop music, corporate dysfunction, and human awkwardness, others criticized the viral frenzy as invasive and ethically dubious. Critics noted that neither Byron nor Cabot had chosen to be public figures in this context and argued that the Kiss Cam moment, however uncomfortable, was never intended to trigger professional consequences or global mockery. Thought pieces on platforms like Wired and The Atlantic explored the implications of the event, framing it within broader concerns about the erosion of privacy in an age of ubiquitous cameras, facial recognition, and social media amplification. As meme cycles accelerated, a new genre emerged: post-cancellation empathy edits, where users repurposed the original footage with melancholic music or captions like "they were just people after all." But one can't deny that this extramarital affair was highly unethical. Megan Kerrigan-Byron, Andy's wife of nearly 20 years, took immediate and telling action. Just days after the video went viral, she removed Byron from all of her social media profiles, a move that was widely interpreted as symbolic of emotional separation. Not long afterward, her accounts were entirely deactivated. According to neighbors and sources cited in The Sun and Newsweek, Megan left the couple's Northborough, Massachusetts home and relocated to a family estate in coastal Maine, a property valued at $2.4 million. One neighbor, speaking anonymously, described her reaction as that of someone completely blindsided, noting the visible strain on her as media attention surged. On the other side of the scandal, Kristin Cabot's husband, Andrew Cabot, has remained publicly silent. A descendant of the influential Boston Brahmin Cabot family and an executive at privateer Rum, Andrew shares deep roots in New England's elite circles. Property records show that the couple jointly purchased a $2.2 million beachfront home in Rye, New Hampshire. Just 5 months before the incident, they secured a $1.6 million mortgage together, raising legal and financial questions about the potential fallout should they separate. Presently, however, no divorce proceedings or public statements have come from Andrew. Wider repercussions. The fallout from the Coldplay concert Kiss Cam extended far beyond personal embarrassment and corporate resignations. It triggered a wave of wider repercussions across the tech industry and among Astronomer's investors, clients, and competitors. Multiple venture capital firms with equity in Astronomer, such as Bain Capital Ventures, Sierra Ventures, and Salesforce Ventures, informally reported to TechCrunch and Axios that the scandal had created temporary valuation volatility, especially as clients began expressing concern over leadership integrity and internal governance. One of the most concrete consequences came on July 21st, when a major enterprise client, identified by the information as a Fortune 500 healthcare analytics firm, terminated its pilot project with Astronomer, citing concerns about executive transparency and the ethical stewardship of sensitive data. The client had been testing Astronomer's Apache Airflow pipeline for managing patient record streams and was in final stage negotiations to expand services nationwide. Its withdrawal not only cost Astronomer a potential $4.3 million in annual revenue, according to an internal pitch deck leaked to Business Insider, but also sent signals to other clients on the fence about walking away. In response to the reputational damage, Astronomer's board of directors initiated a major internal restructuring. On July 23rd, the company announced the formation of 2 new oversight bodies, an independent ethics committee and a revamped HR policy review board, each staffed by outside advisors and legal experts. The firm also hired compliance consultant Julie Everett, formerly of Google's Workplace Integrity Group, to lead a 3-month policy overhaul focused on executive relationships, reporting hierarchies, and ethical training for high-level staff. Company insiders told Protocol that internal morale had dipped sharply after the incident, with Slack sentiment analysis showing a 46% rise in negative or uncertain language in internal communications during the week following the resignations. Beyond Astronomer, the tech industry as a whole found itself revisiting uncomfortable questions about power, privilege, and the personal lives of C-suite executives. Media coverage and commentary across platforms like Wired, The Verge, and Quartz spotlighted the blurred boundaries in fast-paced startup environments, where long hours, frequent travel, and loose hierarchies often lead to informal power centers and personal entanglements. The public discourse also compelled Coldplay's lead singer, Chris Martin, to address the controversy directly. On July 20th, Martin posted a statement on Instagram and X, clarifying that his remark during the show was improvised and meant as a humorous aside typical of his concert banter. "I had no idea who the individuals were, and certainly didn't intend to cause harm," Martin wrote. "If anyone was hurt or affected by that moment, I truly apologize." The statement garnered over 2.1 million views in 24 hours and was generally well received. Coldplay's management later confirmed to Variety that no further public comment would be made, and that the band's stadium production teams would now avoid Kiss Cam segments entirely for the remainder of the Music of the Spheres tour. Legal ramifications remain murky but highly speculated upon. Insiders suggest that both Andy Byron and Kristin Cabot were bound by high-tier severance agreements, likely containing robust confidentiality clauses and non-disparagement language. Legal analysts cited Astronomer's 2024 executive employment contracts, leaked previously during a data breach, as containing broad NDA frameworks designed to prevent reputational spillover. Multiple tech legal experts, including UCLA's Professor Fiona Katz, noted that while neither executive had likely committed a legal violation, the incident would affect future employment contract structuring, particularly in venture-backed startups where personal missteps can ripple through entire capitalization tables. But wait, we're not done just yet. Remember how people online were saying that The Simpsons predicted it all? So, is that true? The Simpsons Kiss Cam Gag. On January 15, 2017, The Simpsons aired the first installment of its two-part special titled The Great Fatsby, a parody of The Great Gatsby that focused largely on Mr. Burns' fleeting friendship with a hip-hop mogul named J.G., while the central story revolved around themes of wealth, betrayal, and cultural identity. One memorable moment occurred on the sidelines of a Springfield Atoms baseball game, where Homer and Marge Simpson were caught on the stadium's kiss cam. The moment, though brief, became a classic illustration of the show's signature ability to mix heartwarming humor with social commentary. In the scene, as the Jumbotron lands on the couple, Homer freezes in comic panic, sweating nervously while Marge gently chuckles and leans in to kiss him, saving the moment. The tone is innocent and endearing. It was actually meant to be a light-hearted commentary on the pressure public displays of affection can place on couples. There is no scandal, no fallout, and certainly no workplace implications. In fact, Homer and Marge are married parents who often find their intimacy tested by life's absurdities. This makes it starkly different from the viral July 16, 2025, Coldplay concert Kiss Cam incident involving Andy Byron and Kristin Cabot, whose awkward on-camera moment at Gillette Stadium led to public speculation, executive resignations, and company fallout. Still, presently, numerous AI-generated Simpsons parody images have begun circulating online, falsely claiming that the show had once again predicted the future. These fake visuals showed Simpsons-styled characters resembling corporate professionals caught on a kiss cam. In reality, no such episode existed. The images were traced to Reddit and X, where digital artists had used AI tools to fabricate scenes mimicking the show's animation style, complete with a digitally altered stadium jumbotron and faux crowd laughter overlays. The characters were rendered to resemble business-suited versions of Byron and Cabot, leading many to believe the visuals were authentic. Several major news outlets, including NDTV, Snopes, and Lad Bible, quickly published fact checks clarifying the fabrication, while Al Jean, longtime showrunner of The Simpsons, took to X, formerly Twitter, on July the 20th to deny the existence of any such episode, writing, "Fake, funny, but fake. Please stop tagging me." This wasn't the first time The Simpsons was swept into a viral misinformation campaign. Over its 35-season run, the show has gained a quasi-mythic reputation for predicting the future, some of which, such as Donald Trump's presidency, as shown in Season 11, Episode 17, Bart to the Future, smartwatches, autocorrect fails, and Disney's acquisition of 21st Century Fox, actually occurred years before these events happened. But part of this phenomenon stems from the show's format. As a satirical lens on American life, it often exaggerates real societal trends, making its eventual overlap with reality feel eerily prescient. That tendency, combined with internet meme culture's hunger for virality, creates a perfect environment for false narratives to thrive. The Kiss Cam misinformation highlights a broader challenge in the digital age, the blurring of boundaries between satire and truth. When a real-life corporate scandal intersects with a fictional medium known for social prediction, audiences are increasingly willing to suspend skepticism, especially if the content is humorous and visually convincing. Another significant factor in this phenomenon is the psychological comfort audiences derive from the idea that chaos is predictable, or at least narratively consistent. But as false narratives take root, public memory begins to prioritize virality over fact. As experts at the MIT Media Lab have documented, false stories are 70% more likely to be retweeted than true ones, a pattern that played out exactly in the aftermath of Kiss Cam Gate. This incident also underscores the rising influence of AI in shaping perception. With tools like Midjourney, DALL-E, and other AI image generators widely available, creating deceptively realistic visuals is easier than ever. And when such content aligns with an audience's expectations or humor, it becomes self-validating, regardless of factual accuracy. What began as a sweet kiss cam moment between two animated characters in 2017 was transformed, via digital manipulation, into a viral talking point in 2025, distorting both memory and meaning in the process. As for the real Kiss Cam Gate, one can say confidentially that corporate politics and infidelity are never good bedfellows. Perhaps companies will now emphasize worker well-being and curb such power games to avoid similar embarrassments. Well, that's it for now. Thanks for watching. Did you like this video? If you did, please consider liking, dropping a comment, and hitting the subscribe button so that you don't miss out on our new uploads. Also, don't miss this video you see on your screen right now. It's truly unbelievable.